I'm excited that we're sitting down to talk about this.
No, yeah, I'm
I
really
know you and
excited.
I have talked endlessly probably
Oh
a
yeah.
summer, a lot, not last summer, but summer before last.
Mhm.
And, it's kind of I don't know if I can like really put it into words, which is going to be a problem because this is a podcast. So I got to put it
Right.
into words. But
Right.
there's something I think so important that, you know, it's important to me to connect with people in every different generation because it's a reminder, right, that we have a
Yeah.
lot to learn from each other.
Right.
And I learned a lot from you, sir. So you might have thought you came in to do an internship to learn from me, but
Yeah.
I think I'm the one who benefited the
No.
most, truly. Not just to stroke your ego. It is something when I reflect upon, something I definitely feel passionate about. All right,
Mhm.
so tell us, like you are I'm attracted to people that have, I think, experienced things in life that I haven't,
Mhm.
that have like it's not like I'm looking for drama. It's
Yeah.
that's a different look. But I am always attracted to people that have a story to tell, like they've
Mhm.
overcome something
Mhm.
really difficult. And so it is not very often that I have someone who follows up so much like you did with me, which is, as a real estate agent, I applaud. But there's something about your story that I knew nothing about until you and I got to work together.
Mhm.
And obviously, I knew you were going to be extremely bright. So let's kind of take it back. So, and some of the conversations we had, we're just going to clarify because I can't
Okay.
remember all the
Yeah.
details.
Yeah.
But tell us what life was like for you in high school. Like,
Yes.
what trajectory were you on
Uh,
before you got sick?
yeah. So in high school, I was really ambitious and I was kind of looking at all the different paths that I wanted to take, but also I was young, so I wasn't putting too much pressure on it.
Yeah.
And I put a really big focus on just how can I improve myself to become the best version of myself. So I was kind of doing all the little things
Yeah.
to do that, whether it was like dieting or certain exercise or certain hobbies that can improve me as a person. So I was kind of doing all that through high school, just enjoying my life, prioritizing people that are going to put the same energy into me that I'm putting into them, and just focusing on good relationships. And that was kind of how, I guess, freshman, sophomore, junior year went.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's the change my junior year summer. But that's kind of how things were through high school and what life was like.
So I have a feeling, which is normal, you're being a little bit, you're not coming in here bragging about yourself, which most people don't do. Some do, but that's
uh,
usually not who I am attracted to. So I know you were doing extremely well in school,
mm,
extremely well in sports.
mm,
And where do you think, so, and then you got sick.
yeah,
And you had to kind of recalibrate and think about things differently. So
yeah,
here you are, like you've built. You're in high school. You are, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so
mm,
correct me if I'm wrong, but you are probably building towards getting into certain colleges, doing certain
yeah,
things you wanted to
yeah,
do. And at a very young age, you got derailed.
right,
So walk us through what
yeah.
happened.
So my plan was like just like being a junior in college is when most kids are looking at colleges, and I really thought I was like, oh, I was a kid there. I was like, I don't really need this. I don't need to go to school. But my
Yeah,
parents sacrificed for me to go, so I was
yeah,
like, I'll definitely go. And when I was looking at schools, I wanted to go to all the big schools. I was looking at Penn
yeah.
State, Tennessee, um,
And you had the grades to back it
yeah,
up.
yeah, Chapel Hill, like all
Hmm.
those. Um, I didn't really like UVA, but that's
That's personal
yeah,
preference.
personal preference. But I liked a lot of the out-of-state schools. Um, and I was like, oh, like how am I? My thought process of going to school was, all right, how can I maximize my network while I'm there? I was like, that, like, doing that, how can that relate to real estate? And then, so all this is all my mindset. My junior year,
High
summer,
school.
junior year of high school,
Yes.
summer, I'm working as a lifeguard. And, just normal high school job, having a blast, doing whatever. And I remember working, and I was like, oh, like, pretty tired. This isn't like me. I was working like 10 hours a day because I loved my job. Like, I had a really good time with all the people I worked with. And I was like, I'm getting really tired. Something's up.
Yeah.
And then I was getting headaches, and I was like, oh, like, maybe I'm just not sleeping, or I've been out in the sun too much. Maybe I just need to cool down. And then when I was going to the gym a lot, like, I was like really big into it. Like, it was like my like complete lifestyle of like my days, like what I ate and everything when going to the gym. Like, it was all a strategy in my life. But I couldn't, like, I was struggling in there too. I was like, oh, why am I tired? I've only been here 10, 15 minutes, and my heart rate was getting really high. And then at the time too, I was like, oh, I'll take the SAT one more time to try and, I don't know, maybe get a better school.
Sure.
I was never a good, like, standardized test taker, but I was like, I'll try it. So I remember reading, there's like a reading portion, and I'm doing the reading portion, and I kept rereading the same thing. I'm like, nothing's clicking. I was like, I can barely read. I was like, what is going on? And I was like, oh, man, I've just been in the sun too much. Maybe, I don't know, sun poisoning, something. And then so I basically had symptoms of fatigue. It was really bad brain fog, elevated heart rate. I was getting dizzy, so like the dizziness was affecting me if I wanted to like exercise or do like a hobby, like a sport. And trying to think what else. I couldn't go out in the sun that much. I was very sensitive to the heat, so I had to be careful of that. That would kind of add to the dizziness. And all these symptoms were going on, and my dad was like, I remember talking to him, and he was like, are you depressed? Sure. And I was like, no, like, life's great. There's nothing to, feel that way. There's no reason to. And so, like, there was some sort of health thing going on, but we didn't know what it was. And then I was going to doctors left, right, my senior year of high school. I remember, like, the first doctor told me it's, like, because I was taking creatine, and that's why I'm feeling like this. And it's funny because, like, I have a doctor for what I have now, and he's telling me to take it. It's funny how the medical world works. But I probably went to 30, 40 appointments my senior year of high school, and everyone had like a different thing. The consensus of each person was, we don't really know. I told him the story of like I had mono my freshman year of high school, and then so my junior year I got COVID, healed from that completely, and then that's when all these things happened in the summer. So it was weird because I healed completely fine from it. But eventually I went to a doctor, and he said, yeah, there's this thing going around. It's called, long COVID, and, you had mono your freshman year, and that can kind of tank your nervous system a little bit. And then you had COVID, which tanked it even more, and these viruses stay within your system. And then, you're out in the sun every single day, you're dehydrated, and then they just created a spike. And so then it couldn't get back to that balance. I was like, okay, like that's good to know. Like this is good. I'm about to go into college. We got this figured out now. So like, what do I do about it? He's like, that's the thing. It's not really. He's like, just lay low. And I was like, what do you mean lay low?
Not good timing.
Yeah, not good timing at all. Like, told me to stop exercising. Couldn't like. Don't be out walking around a bunch, standing up a bunch. And I was like, what can I do? Am I sitting in a chair the whole day?
Yeah.
So I think that summer, I'll preface this. So then I was like, this is all going down. I was like, I need to choose a college. And then I was like, all right, I'll just go in-state, be close to home with all this going on.
Sure.
Both my brothers went to JMU, James Madison University.
Yes.
And they loved it. I liked it a lot. I was like, if I go in-state, that's where I'll go. So I went there. And then, so I went there, started off the first semester out, and I was like, oh, geez, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Because he told me, like, lay low, so I, like, couldn't enjoy myself, really, while I'm at school. And I remember talking to my advisor, and she was like, like, you have the credits. 'Cause I came in with a bunch of credits from high school.
Sure.
She's like, if you want, you could take a semester off and just, go back home. And then, like, that phone call home wasn't, parents didn't love to hear that.
Did you stay, or did you come
Yeah,
home?
no. I ended up staying in school because
That's
I was
wonderful.
like, because what if I don't heal,
Yeah.
Could have just stayed in school. So, which I'm really glad I just stayed because it would have just been a waste of just being at home. So, yeah, I stayed, and then I guess I kind of learned what works, what doesn't work, strengths, weaknesses. I still have the same exact symptoms today, and I'm a senior in college. But I've learned what works, what doesn't. I've finally, like in the last couple weeks, seen a doctor for exactly what I have, and I'm on like a kind of like a game plan with them. So things are looking optimistic to treatment and recovery. So that's kind of the whole spiel. I don't know if I forgot anything, but I think that's it all.
Well, no, I thank you for that because it recaps a lot of what we talked about 2 summers ago. So take it back real quick. So high school, COVID hit while you were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a massive disruptor,
Mm-hmm.
right, in itself.
Yep.
And this is not a podcast on COVID, so no one needs to worry about that. This is not a political conversation in any way, shape, or form, but it's the reality of the world that we're living in.
Yeah.
So, I'm just curious too, because oftentimes, like these big disruptors, I think we think about happening to us later in life. But you had 2 very big disruptors happening to you earlier in your life, and that would be COVID itself happening while you were in high school. Were you in middle school or high school?
I was right. COVID.
Yeah.
It was high school. It was my junior year.
And then, as a result of that, you then went through and are still going through a health battle. Would you say battle is the right word?
Yeah. It's fun. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to say what it's not.
Yeah.
But these are like really incredibly formative years.
Yeah.
It's not like I think back to high school for me, which is a long time ago, my friend, over 20 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, it really was. And it was such an important time in my life, such a social time, but it was also a very stressful time, a time of like really focusing on academics, lots and lots of pressure, and you're doing everything right to hit these metrics in order to go on and do, higher education, and the brakes are hit for you.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to go back to, so there's a couple points there. One, where did this, like, positivity, this, like, I'm not going to let this take me down, where does that come from?
That stemmed from probably my sophomore, junior year of college. So that was right actually the COVID time. I loved quarantine. I think it made me the best version of myself. I don't know if everyone can agree on that, but that's when I
can agree on that. We've talked about this a lot.
But just like
having
that time to really focus on yourself, and you can either choose to, okay, this is the situation, we're going to make the best of it and have a positive outcome, or you can be like, oh, I'm going to sit and rot, and I'm not going to choose that. So then
where did that come from? Like, where did...
I honestly don't know. I wasn't always that way throughout my life.
Okay.
And then during that time when I was like, all right, what are some good hobbies to do? Okay, like this exercise, this journaling, that's, read these books, that's good. And then you see like the habits of these people that are telling you to do this, and no one's really saying positivity is bad. Like everything I was saying, no one's ever gonna say positivity is bad. And so you see that and it's like, okay, let me try. Let me just be a really positive person. And you're like, this is great. So I think that time of trying to improve myself, and you're seeing that all these people are like talking about how important positivity and mindset is, and it's crazy what your brain can do to the rest of your body and just how you feel. So kind of just trying that, and then once it got really hard again, once all these symptoms started to happen, I was like, okay, like what can I do? I can control my mind as much as I possibly can. So this stinks right now. Like, this sucks. Am I going to think that it really sucks and then make it even worse?
Sure.
So it's like, okay, well, doctors might not be telling me what to do, but let me just try being a little positive with the whole situation. And it made it better. And, you know, if I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm sick. No, I can't do this. I can't do that. I mean, it really is true. Like, the type of, like, comparison is the thief of joy.
Oh,
And the biggest thing is,
yes.
like when it was first happening, is I was comparing to my old self. Like, oh, I was able to do this, 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 and this. And then, like, things like that for a while. Then just being able to catch yourself and be like, whoa, I don't feel that great now thinking like that. So just having that as a foundation, I think it's made all the difference. Just the mindset.
It is. It's,
Yeah.
you know, a big David Goggins fan. And I'm not packaged like David Goggins is, and I
Yeah.
probably don't always, I'm not as hardcore as he is.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the inside, I'm screaming to be that hardcore.
Oh yeah,
On the outside. But like, I think that's a commonality you and I have, is that you're, it's like, so what?
yeah.
Like, this is where I am. So what?
Right.
Like, I've got a big life to lead.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like, when you are in these situations, well, I say I know, but I don't know. I want to hear. I have a pretty good guess as to what you're going to say.
Okay.
But so you're incredibly grounded, and your family is incredibly important to you, in your faith.
Mm-hmm.
But when you were put in moments of, okay, I'm failing at this.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that keeps you, like, where do you lean?
Yeah, it definitely takes reflection because, like, when initially, like, because there was, like, there's a lot of trials.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel the best when it doesn't go how you want to.
Yeah.
So at first it was like, okay, let me try and figure this out on my own. So, which I was always able to do my entire life. It's just, let me figure this out on my own. And then it wasn't always working. And that's where I became so open about it to my friends and my family. Because if I wasn't, then they would just have all these questions, and then that would just make it worse for me, I think. So I just became really open to my friends and my family. And they just ended up becoming really supportive of it and just really understanding. And that was just a true blessing, just to have those people in your life. And I don't think, like, not everybody has it. And I'm just so lucky and grateful to have people like that. So I was just saying, like, kind of owning it and being like, yeah, you know, this is what's going on. I can't do this, I can't do that, or hey, like, I'm struggling with this. And then just having that support system of leaning on to them. And then, like, you mentioned my faith too. That's why I think all this has happened. I think it led me on the best path for me. And I don't even want to know what I would have done if I would have gone to one of those big schools. I don't know.
Would I have liked the Aiden before long COVID as much as I like the Aiden after?
Yeah. I think you would have liked him a lot.
I think I would have too.
I think you would have thought he was a little crazy and, like, more in that Goggins kind of world. I don't know if I'd be doing. I don't know. I think he would have been a lot more egotistical. I think, talk about grounded. This is definitely grounded, Aiden, a little more. But yeah, no, I think you would have.
I think I would have too.
You would have thought I was a little crazy, but
Doesn't matter what I think. It really matters what you think.
yeah.
I think it's a rare person that can see something as that could be a setback, or perceived as a setback, to then see it as a blessing and to see it as something that, oh, I can see why this was put in my path.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think it's a rare person that can see that. A lot of us get stopped in our tracks when we hit a speed bump, or some of us hit a concrete wall, right?
Yeah.
It just depends on how big of a hurdle it is that hits us. And I'm such a big believer in continuing to move. Like, no matter what, it doesn't matter if it's an inch, if it's a foot, if it's a mile, like, keeping that yourself in movement. But there have been many times in my life where I get stuck.
Yeah.
But I know, and that's when the anxiety sets
Right.
in. And for
Right.
me, the quickest way to like calm that anxiety is to move.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, for me at least, that's where, and even if that's in my mind, right? It's how to keep going and look for the positive things.
Mm-hmm.
When you, I'm sure people can quickly see and hear why I was uh, very, very excited to have you work beside me. I want to I want to kind of talk about in our society, for better or for worse, we're kind of in a position, whether the media is selling us this or it is the reality, where people are kind of picking sides, right? That I'm this or I'm that.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of judgment is being
Oh yeah.
cast. And you, came in as an intern into my company. However, you were not an average young person. You already had taken your real estate class and you got your real estate
Mm-hmm.
license while you were working with us, which
Mm-hmm.
A is completely mind blowing that you were a sophomore in college doing this already.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's real easy for us to go in and have preconceived notions about each other and to think, you're young, I'm middle aged,
Uh-huh.
I know more, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I try really hard to not be that person
Mm-hmm.
and to say, I don't know everything. Let me expose myself to other people. You, I despise labels. I personally
Yeah.
don't like
I
labels.
completely agree.
I cannot stand
Yeah.
it. But there's this big wanting to like categorize people as you're this generation and you're that
Yeah.
generation. Show you're this generation.
Mm.
I'm like an exennial, like I'm in between two. Just
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 1980, and there's all sorts of stereotypes about my
Yeah.
generation. That when I was doing some research before our talk today, oddly enough, have a lot of parallels with the stereotypes about your
Wow.
generation. And you blow that out of you blow the stereotype. You say, I mean, working with you for a summer, there's nothing about your generation stereotypes that you represent. Has or have you experienced people, especially those of us who are older than you, trying to categorize you into a certain, you're this?
Yeah. I think I'm sure most kids my age can agree on that. In that, I guess older generations,
Yeah.
the biggest thing is work ethic,
Ugh.
and how like my generation's work ethic is.
And you're soft.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're
Yeah.
soft, um, and
So not fair, not
I
true.
I think I think just with how technology has gone, it's made processes easier for my generation. And like we're not doing it the old-fashioned way
Yeah.
anymore,
Or the right way.
right? Or the right
Yeah.
way. When a lot of times it's the same end result. So maybe their process might have been a little longer or harder, and we've simplified that. I don't completely disagree, but I think there's a big thing of like work ethic. I think my generation I think it's like entitlement too
Yes.
is really big in my generation. That one I can kind of agree with. I think I think it's been caused through like social media and I should have this because everyone else my age has this. And it's like, well, that's not everyone else.
That comes back to comparison is the
Right.
thief of joy.
Exactly. And that's where I think like just groundedness is really important and trying not to fall into that and like needing all these things or just trying to live a simple life.
Do you think entitlement is just reserved for your generation? Because I see it in my generation
Oh no.
too.
No, I don't think it is at all.
And I think that social media is an incredible vehicle for connection.
Mm-hmm.
it is, if it's not used with care like anything else,
Yeah.
it can become, I think, a prison and
Yeah.
create further, it can create excuses,
Yeah.
and that person is luckier, or they're
Yeah.
more, or they're more attractive, or they're
Yeah.
this or they're that, when in reality we're just seeing the highlight reels.
Yeah.
And that's what this podcast really is about
Yeah.
for me, is about everyone's life is unfolding.
Yeah.
And we all go through trials and setbacks, and it's about, I think, embracing that in a lot of ways, and reframing it and using something that's happened to you. And look, there's things that happen to people that are, you know, so on, you just cannot even comprehend. And that is, I'm certainly not saying that, but I
Yeah.
think there are varying levels of setbacks. I love that. But you are somebody that's, in my opinion, you're an old soul. Like I don't ever feel like I'm sitting across from someone that's 20,
Yeah.
19, however old you are now, because age really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You are a wonderful reminder of that to me, for sure. Because just so you know, when Aiden was interning with me, I was still Googling things. And not that I don't still Google, but I do use ChatGPT. I do use AI now. I am able to be taught things and moving
Yeah.
beyond it. But so one thing about, you know, one thing about your generation that drives me nuts when people start talking about people as generations is that, you know, well, your generation is not good at communicating. And I just completely disagree with that. So, you know, I can be tough to reach. I have a lot of demands. I have clients that I serve. I have agents that I serve. And you wanted an intern with someone,
Yeah.
right? Someone.
Yeah.
And you have incredible follow-up game. You do too. When you're texting me to get answers, sometimes I'm just self-admittedly not answering as fast as I should. You know, that is another, it just shows you that it doesn't matter what generation you're from, that you know how to communicate. You do.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Nothing but a good thing. So obviously, you know, I'm a mom.
Yeah.
And my son was, gosh, Anders was probably 8, getting ready to be 9 when we were working together that summer. And I asked how old your parents were, and it kind of slapped me in my face that they're my exact same age, because I waited a long time to have my son. You, I know that they're going to probably watch this or listen to this, and so that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
why I'm saying this, but it's, you know, it is an incredible responsibility when we have people, it doesn't matter how old they are, but you were asking me and we were talking about a lot of things that weren't just about real estate. They were really
Yeah.
about building a life with
Yeah.
intention.
Yeah.
And going in and becoming an entrepreneur is not oftentimes the most sexiest or the most popular choice for a young person, and especially a young person like yourself, who, from my point of view, is incredibly accomplished. You have everything that a big employer would be looking for, and yet you have this itch as well to explore all of your opportunities, and some of that includes being an entrepreneur in real estate. So I just want you to know that I was giving you advice with 100% honesty, but always wanting the benefit of, you were in my care for a while, and how would I feel if your parents were guiding my son on such a huge life decision. So I need to sit down and thank them for that, for trusting me. It made me really think about things.
Yeah.
That's the point. It gave me some clarity on, because I wanted to go to law school.
Okay.
And now I've sold real estate for 21
Right.
years, and so if you look at being an attorney and being a realtor, being an attorney has a much higher status, and probably is far more brag worthy as a parent, and maybe something you would really hope your child goes for. And living in my shoes for 21 years, I'm like, oh, I totally picked the right thing.
No.
So where has this, like, tell us a little bit about this, like, desire, because you're graduating, you're a double major, you're business and finance, correct?
It's finance and accounting.
Finance and accounting. See, I still don't know. You've accepted an accounting job, which is amazing. Congratulations. And you're going to follow that with passion, but you still have this interest. So how are you going about, how are you going to go about your next chapter in life?
Yeah. The first off, when you mentioned like us talking, how like we weren't just talking about real estate. I'd say real estate was a fraction of what we talked about.
I'm sure.
I enjoyed all the
Thank
other
you.
conversations that we had. So the next steps. What was the question again? Sorry.
So it's okay, because this is how I have ADD
Yeah.
conversations. Welcome to my world again. Remember what it's like?
Yeah.
So I think life is full of chapters.
Yeah.
You are staring down your college graduation in May.
Yeah.
You've already accepted a job
Mm-hmm.
in an accounting firm, correct?
Yep.
You've got your CPA exam ahead of you as a possibility. You also have your real estate license hanging on inactive status. How are you approaching this next chapter?
It's a good question. So, I'm trying to not think too far, but it does matter. I do think having a plan is important.
Yes.
I think controlling what I can control through this next chapter. So like effort, mindset, and it's like when I was talking to you a week or so ago about like, oh, what am I gonna do this summer?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't really know what I'm going to do, but just try and do something and put a good effort at it. So I think this chapter is like, so you like set up you starting a job and putting my best effort into that. And the reason I chose that is the industry is just I've seen a lot of people that start out there and then a lot of them go in completely different places, and or just like having that numbers background and then applying it to business. I think it's important, and I see the skill in it. So kind of just doing that, putting a good effort into it. If something else happens, a setback or something pushes me forward, it happens, and we adjust. But I think it's more of just seeing the experience I get, and then if that experience brings me into a different path, then it brings me into a different path, and then trying to just stay ambitious throughout it all.
It's an interesting time in your life because the world is literally your oyster.
Yeah.
And I think people get overwhelmed by choice. Choice is a wonderful thing. That's what money gives you, right? It gives you choices.
Yep.
And it's a tool. It's not just it's not a status, it's a tool. You've got a lot of choice ahead of you. And I think it takes discipline it's like, I've committed to this.
Yeah.
And how do you stay open to other possibilities at the same time?
Yeah.
Is always a fine balance.
Yeah.
So I've never really talked about this formally, but I've talked to you about it. Another common bond that you and I have is, and if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to.
No,
but
talk about it all.
we talk about a lot of stuff. So 6 years ago, I made a decision to cut alcohol out of my life, and you're just not. You're not the typical college student, sir. You are going and marching to the beat of your own drum. So talk to me about your choice to not drink alcohol in a college setting.
Yeah.
And what has that meant for you?
Yeah. I didn't think it was always going to be that case.
Same.
um, yeah, originally just that choice was I would, you see how you get when you're not the person you really are, when you're engaging in substances like that.
Sure.
And kind of just seeing that in myself and not becoming the best version of myself. And
Yeah.
originally for me, it was like I saw like the pressure on it of getting like that. I was kind of like against my religious beliefs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what steered, really grounded. That's what grounded me through and like was such a good base, like the anchor.
Yes.
Like that would help hold me down really well because it was a different level of accountability. So that was originally, and I tried it and I was like, oh, this is fun, I like this, I have energy. What the heck, it's Saturday, it's Sunday, I have energy. This is great.
Yeah.
And then another benefit is my doctors are definitely happy because just how important it is for me with some things I talk about is recovery and how awful it is for recovery. Even just like, because at first I was just like, oh, like I'll just have I can have like one or two.
Yeah.
But then, even like the effects on the brain of just having like nothing, or having like a little bit of something. If you have nothing, it's dramatic, in the benefits it has for you. So it's kind of there's this great, I guess, roots of why I'm not doing this in the sense of, my religious beliefs, and then it's like my health. So it's like, I don't, and then another thing is like, I think about so I thought about you, and then there's a ton of other professionals and entrepreneurs I admire in the real world.
Yeah.
And a lot of them speak out about that, and I see how much they're able to get done in their life, and it's like, I want that too. And so there's just so many different areas that keep me grounded through it and help me make the decision.
You talked about the anchor. Go back to that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that was one thing I wanted to get Kristen something for when that whole internship, because I really did appreciate everything she taught me and gave me through that experience.
You gave me more, sir.
And one of the things I admired was how she would make decisions based on your values.
Yes.
And I believe, so you have this anchor that holds you down, and it's almost like a game plan throughout your life. Like, oh, I can try to make this decision now. Okay, let me go back to what are my roots, what are my morals, what are my values. And I feel that having a good anchor is really important for everybody, and not have, got to have a well-maintained anchor. Everyone can have an anchor, but it might not be good things.
Yes.
So having a good anchor to get you throughout your life, I think it's important for everybody. I think it's just a cool, simple, something to, you can see it and then think back on.
It's still in my office, by the way.
Awesome.
It's still sitting in there. Choosing to not, well, I will say this, because this is a prickly conversation, alcohol, because I certainly don't want anyone to think that I'm shaming people who choose to drink, because that's not, there's no judgment here, truly, there really isn't. And I was not leading my best life with it, for sure, and it took me a lot longer than it took you to realize. And look, in our lives may look different as we progress through it, and you may make different choices. But at this moment in college, I just think it says so much about you and the way that you're intentionally living and you're building to choose a life in college, your senior year, without alcohol. It just blows my mind, even though I haven't drank for 6 years. It just blows my mind. Has it been lonely?
At first, yeah. But maybe there's a lot of other seniors in college that can agree with me, but there's a lot of fun throughout the rest of our college journey.
Wait a minute, there's more to do?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it was, because it's like everyone your age wants to, everyone's going to the bar tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's Friday night.
And like when I mentioned before about like being open with all my friends, like I'm
Yeah.
very open. So I was like, oh, I'll go with you guys. I'll just have a water. Feel great when I get home. I can be the driver for everybody. That's always an added benefit. Also, so I do have like friends that are the same way. They don't like they either won't go out or won't drink.
Yeah.
And having them is just such a benefit because then I think it would be more lonely. I think I'd still be fine. Is it lonely? Yeah. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if everyone's doing something and it's like, well, that, like, what's kind of activities going to go on? It's, oh, it's just drinking, It's like, it won't be fun if you drink. So then, like, that can be lonely. Even if you're there in person, surrounded by a lot of people, it could be lonely.
Oh, yes.
But having those people where I can be like, oh, I don't want to do that tonight, and I can go there. It's important to me, and it's really meaningful. I'm lucky to have people like that.
You are. I think the company we keep is so incredibly important, and it's so incredible that you've recognized it at 20, 21. How old are you
21.
today? 21.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, I think
I'm legal to drink.
Yeah, I know. I know. Oh gosh. There you go. Wow. No shaming. We're having a realistic conversation for sure. Aiden, I would never, what I have accomplished for myself, this is not about just resume building. It's just about me. Mm-hmm. What I've accomplished in these 6 years since I've decided to take a different path is head turning. I'm just very grateful for it. Mm-hmm. And my story arriving at not drinking looks very different than yours. You didn't have a problem. I did. But what I have been able to do and to honor for myself is incredibly different. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling that you've always done stuff a little different from people. Mm-hmm. Perhaps haven't always gone with the norm. Mm-hmm. Would you say you're a leader or a follower?
I would say most of my life I was a follower and then became a leader. I think a lot of it was just like, I should do this because my peers are doing that. Yeah. Or I shouldn't do this because what are they going to think of me? And that was most of my life, I think. And that's where I think like that big change in COVID really happened because it was like such a good reset where it's just you and yourself, and that's kind of where I was. I don't need anyone else to help me feel this way. I don't want to be dependent on people to feel a certain way or have a certain thing. So let me how can I do it myself? I was like, you can't always count on everybody. It's like, how can I be that person for myself? And that's where I think I developed more of like a leader mindset, and then wanting to see the people you care and love about have that also. So then like maybe show them, how they can also develop that mindset, and not in the point where it's like, well, I want them to be a follower of me and I'm the leader. Right. But like how to create a leader within themselves. It's important to me for like the people I care about. Just because then it's like I've seen how I was as a follower and the negative implications. And I'm not saying like being a follower can be a bad thing, but I just saw within me to have like negative implications. So just trying to help people that are trying to get away from that, get to the point they want to be at.
That's a powerful statement, for sure, to want to help inspire other people. Yes, I don't need people following me either. That's so egotistical. Yeah. It's more about maybe walking our walk and creating inspiration within it. Financial literacy, can we pivot to this?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are, we've had lots of conversations about this too. Another strike against your generation that people want to so quickly put y'all into, and that is entitlement. And perhaps I see lots of things about this generation and my generation doesn't know anything about money. Talk to me how you view money. And where does that come from?
I think, like you said, money can help you make choices, and I think it can ease some hard decisions in life. Um, I don't I don't really think it's gonna make you completely happy. I mean, there's plenty of examples in that in the world.
Yes.
I do think I think it can make things easier for sure. Having financial resources, but like for instance, like right now, like if you handed me like $1 million right now, so say for instance as a college student, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for 45.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, it's not gonna buy me my health back or
Yeah.
do all these other things. So kind of that's where I think like I've found like gratitude is such an important thing to me in the sense of okay, I'm gonna work hard and try and I see it as like the providing aspect of it, like oh I can work hard and help like in the ease people around me's life, and maybe future generations. But it's really important I think to be grateful like okay like this bed I had like this I'm so lucky to have like this food I have this water I have, and even like not a lot of money it takes to have that. I think everyone can be grateful for something. But I don't really think it's like I think it's good to have for sure, and I'm striving to hopefully have resources to help those around me. But I don't. If someone's like, oh, like if there's one thing today that could, make me a happy person, and it's like if I just had money, then, well, maybe, but maybe you should, look at other elements of your life also.
You come from a very financially literate household.
Yeah. Shout out.
Which your dad and I could probably talk for hours about. So you're majoring in money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And helping people keep more of it, use it as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up in a household where it's been used as a tool,
Mm-hmm.
did that point you in the direction of what you've majored in?
I wouldn't say it pointed me in the direction
Okay.
in what I've majored in. My whole family's in healthcare,
I know
except
they are.
for me.
But your dad's also very wise with
Right.
money, and your mom probably is too.
Yep.
We've had a lot of smart
But I
conversations.
think being raised in that element has shown me why sacrifice is important and and the effects of delayed gratification. So like, oh, we're not gonna eat out a lot, or we're not gonna go to Aruba on this crazy vacation or something. And then when you're young, it's annoying and it pisses you off. And you're like, oh, I want to have a basement, or I want to go on this cool vacation. And then as you get older and you're seeing like okay, now I'm at college now. It's like okay, this thing's paid for. Like what the heck? And that's just like I'm just so lucky to have that and have them sacrifice and it's like oh like I'm driving a car like I didn't pay for that. Like it's just but there was sacrifice behind it.
Were your parents shy about the sacrifice?
Oh no, yeah. If my dad's listening, he let us know. Yeah.
Bravo, Dad.
Yeah. I think the more like choosing like the finance accounting thing, I honestly looked up what's the best major for people going into real estate, and I was like, I don't mind finance. I was good at accounting, so I added it, and I was like, oh, that's manageable. So there was no like deep thinking about what major to pick. I was like, okay, for an entrepreneur, this is pretty solid.
I can't remember. Are your parents like followers of like the Dave Ramsey type of belief of money?
Yeah, my dad's definitely he loves some Dave Ramsey.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I don't always agree, but
Right. Hey, we can cherry pick things
Yeah.
that we love about
Yeah.
people and things that maybe we could set aside and not practice.
Yep.
We can say a lot of things, but Dave Ramsey is obviously brilliant at budgeting and making millionaires out of everyday people.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But I think you're talking about value systems and you're talking about sacrifice and maybe your parents need to come in and teach a class on how to raise kids that are not entitled.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a temptation that at least I have viewed that you want to shield your children from sometimes the harsh realities.
Yeah.
And I also grew up in a household where they did not shield me.
Yeah.
And my parents worked extremely hard to provide for us, and no one was sugarcoating it for me.
Yeah.
And it was such a gift because I knew as much as I could as a young person what the hurdle was going to be to create something out of myself. And so I think your parents gave you many gifts, but
Yeah.
that's probably a huge one for sure.
Yeah.
Anything I didn't talk about? Anything you want to add? I know you're a big advocate of educating people about your health condition and making people aware of the effects of. So has it been formally diagnosed? Is this long COVID?
Yeah,
Like,
so
what are you
it's
dealing with?
it's technically called dysautonomia. That's like the clinical term for it, which
Okay.
is basically an autonomic nervous system dysfunction. That's how you can break down that word.
What are the symptoms that people can look for?
It would be kind of like confusion, brain fog, like, oh, my brain's not acting how it's always been. Lack of energy, headache, like your heart rate, like palpitations out of nowhere, higher heart rate. I'd say these are all things I had that, maybe some people, and it's been some people too get affected by it, like vaccine or whatever.
And really, like, difficulty comprehension with reading.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That brain fog category. You could.
Yeah, I'm 45,
Yeah.
perimenopause. We won't talk about that. It's a totally different conversation. But a lot of those symptoms mirror. So they're very different.
Yeah.
They're very different. But you've found a physician. You never gave up. Your parents didn't give up. You found a physician that knows exactly what you're going through. You have a path forward. And I know you're pretty outspoken about talking about it because there's got to be other people suffering from this same issue. Does your doctor believe it is a result of COVID?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
They hear the story. Yep. Okay. You had mono. Yep. You had COVID. Yeah.
Okay.
Check. You're 21 going through this. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
No, it's the long path of where can I find this professional, and then you finally find one, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Hopefully this is the one. But
when anyone's navigating a health issue, sometimes they're not easy to diagnose, and that not giving up, is something that is so important to have. And I think you are proof that not giving up has its incredible benefits. And you've been successful in college, very successful. You've got a job lined up. You're graduating with great grades, and healing is possible.
Yeah.
But you just have to have, I guess, the faith that there is a solution out there. Well, I know we could talk for hours.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Is there anything I didn't cover? Because this is not just, no one is just one podcast worth of information.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure I haven't skipped something that's really important.
I think it's gotten a lot of good stuff here today.
Trying to fit a lot in.
Yeah. I think the core things is, if you can, positive mindset.
Yes.
There's I think it's a book. There's also like a documentary. It's called The Secret. And regardless of what your religious beliefs might think of it, the overall principle of just keeping a positive mindset and then how that can benefit you, I think that's really important for everyone, I think. Just because you can always sit, moan and groan about anything. And there are cases where, it's significantly harder than other times. But if you can try and flip that switch and, okay, how can I think better about this?
I think that's a great place to wrap it. So The Secret, that needs to be on everyone's list.
I
to
think
go
it's
explore.
Yep.
I know we talked about it.
Yeah.
I need to go back and refresh myself again.
Hmm.
No doubt. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for sitting down
Yeah,
with
no,
me.
I enjoyed this a
It
lot. This is really
was
cool.
so fun for me, and I think you are a shining example that age has nothing to do with it. It's life
Yeah.
experiences, and I know there's a lot of young people out there that my view and the lens that I have is when I was young in real estate, I faced a lot of opposition over being young.
Oh,
What did
yeah.
I know? What could I possibly
Yeah.
bring to the table?
Mhm.
And you are a breath of fresh air and a reminder that
Mhm.
age isn't just a number. It
Mhm.
has nothing to do with it. There are people that have lived many more years than you, but don't have the wisdom and the experience that
Mhm.
you do. So, for all of us out there who are older than 21,
Yeah.
tune in. There's
Yeah.
something we can learn from
Yeah.
everyone.
I appreciate that.
You got it. Thanks,
Yeah.
Aiden, for sitting down with
Yep.
me.
No problem.